Good morning and welcome back to my channel. I'm sure you can hear me over the tinkling and it's about to stop anyway. So we wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That was good timing or not. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. It's Barry Baltic today. It's absolutely freezing in Nottingham. Let me just tell you about these tins, these Christmas trees. They're on sale in Marks and Spencer's at the moment, reduced from £10 to £5. And they're actually quite a novelty, but they're also full of shortbread biscuits. So if you're looking for a stocking filler or something a bit novel, I think that's a bargain, £5. Right, we won't be eating them. Ours are to put in with gifts, but I just wanted to show you them. Something else I want to show you, I've got one in my back pocket. My house, I wish you could smell it this morning. It smells of spiced oranges and it's absolutely lovely. Well, I don't know whether Joe would agree with me or not. I think it's really festive. These sticks, which you can see, you get 6 in a little pot in Aldi at the moment. And they're actually for hanging on your tree. You get little hooks with them so you can hang them on your tree. I haven't got my tree up yet, so I've just put mine in a little pot behind me on the table. But, oh my God, if you could smell them. It's pure Christmas. And I just put them in the pot last night. When I walked into the room this morning, it was absolutely lovely. So £2.49 for 6 to hang on your tree. Right, mine might end up on the tree when it goes up. Right, it's absolutely Barry Baltic this morning in Nottingham. I'm sure it is right across the country. There's a weather warning out for ice and sleet and snow and goodness knows what. But what else do we expect in December? So wrap up warm if you're going out and stay safe. We've been to group this morning. We actually just went in. I got weighed and we came out again. And that was because, well, not because we've got a standing consultant. It was because Joe's got to go to work. And I wanted time to get my vlog up because I wouldn't have had any time to do it over the rest of the weekend. So I'm standing in front of you this morning with a gain. I'm not disappointed because I'm well within target. I actually gained £1 and weigh 9 stone and half a pound, which is perfect. My target weight is 9 stone. But I said to Joe before we went, you know, there are little things that niggle you, that you can play on your mind. And one of them for me is standing consultant scales. I always gain when we have the standing consultant scales. Now I'm only going to gain the first week that way because the next 2 weeks, or when she's weighing us, I'll be weighing on the same scale, so I'll get a consistent result. I've got the right teeth in this morning. I'll get a consistent result the next 2 weeks. But I knew when I walked in this morning that although I am feeling fine about myself and I'm feeling fine about my weight, I knew I was expecting a gain. So we went in and put my card through the pay machine and whatever. Of course I don't pay because I'm a target member. Got on the scales and the lady said, Joe was just saying to me, you're not square on the scales. So I kind of moved and the lady said, you've gained £1.50. And I said, I think I moved as it registered because you know it goes pip, doesn't it? So she said, get off, get on again. So with the second time I weighed, I gained £1. Now I only said a few weeks ago, if that occurs again, I'm not doing it, I'm taking the first weight. And I should have just taken the first weight, but hey ho, there you go. So £1 gain this week. Is it to do with what I've eaten? Absolutely not. Because I've been 100% on plan. It's the way I love to eat. I feel so fortunate to eat the way I do. I've had 104.5 sins. I'm doing the new plan, the new extra easy plan. So I've had 2 A choices every day and 1 B choice. So exactly what I did the previous week. Last week I lost half pound, this week I gained £1. This is the joy of being at Target. And I don't use the joy word lightly because I mean it. I'm not being sort of flippant or sarcastic. It is a joy to be at Target. I've got a couple of things I was going to just mention briefly, things that have occurred in my week, and I gave Joe a list, but the first one on the list I can remember, it said Chris Evans, didn't it, Joe? Mm-hmm. Chris Evans, who is my absolute, well, I love him, just absolutely love the man. And I'm really sad because week on Monday he's finishing on Radio 2 and I will not be waking up to the same joyous person I'm used to waking up to. I know I won't be waking up to Zoe Ball because I don't need a woman in my right ear at that time in the morning. I'm a bit of a, no, how can I put it without, I don't mean this to sound sexist, I'm a bit of a man's woman. A lot of my friends are men. I like men radio producers, I like men sports reporters, I like men reading the news. I think it's just because everything about me is ears, because it's not about what somebody looks like. I actually find a deeper voice, shall we say, not necessarily a man's voice, but a deeper voice easier on the ear. I love to wake up to Chris Evans, and I'm going to really miss him. But the thing that Chris said this Monday morning, I mean, he does have some great things on his programme, like the note, you know, not worrying on a Wednesday and stuff like that. But on Monday morning he said, if you want to achieve something different, and I might be sort of paraphrasing this, but if you want to achieve something different, you have to do something different. And I thought, what a bloody positive, wonderful statement. And it's so true. I was looking back over my history of this living world. You know, it goes back 40 odd years, because I'm a slow learner and a slow loser. I've done it more than the scenic way, haven't I? But looking back over my history of this living world, I always did it my way. I always thought I knew better. And every time I went back, I continued to do the same thing. I did the same shopping, I ate the same food, I did the same fiddles and tweaks, and I never learned anything. So I'd go in, I'd lose a few pounds because I'd always gained a load. I'd lose a few pounds, I'd hit stalemate, I'd plateau, I'd lose faith in the plan, and I'd be gone again. And sometimes I'd stick it for 3 months, and sometimes I'd stick it for 6 months. But I never, ever, ever got within stones of target, and I mean stones of target. I was not one of these people who was like, oh, I'm £8 away from target, I can go it alone now and make it to the finishing line. I always fell off the plan, stones away from target. This time when I joined, I did it differently. So I wanted to achieve something different, and I did something different. And one of my friends was always saying to me, you know, the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing, you'll always get the same result. And that's what I did for years and years and years. And what Chris Evans said on Monday morning, I just think it's a good thing to put out there for anybody who is considering starting again in the new year. And I know a lot of people will be in that situation. And maybe you've not done it for a year, or you've not done it for 2 years, or you've not done it for 2 weeks, or you've not done it for 2 months. It doesn't matter. If you want a clean start, to achieve something different, you have to do something different. And I think one of the things we're all going to be blessed with is the new plan. So we can all, if we want to, not everybody will want to, some people will be happy with the way they're doing it and it's working for them. But if we want to achieve something different, we're going to have to do something different. And that could just be the new book, couldn't it? Because it's going to be different. Not majorly so, but even adding that extra A, like I've done for the last 3 weeks, sometimes you have to have confidence to do that, because the little thing in my brain goes, you start adding A's and B's, you're going to gain weight, Jane. I know my body well enough at the age of 62 to know that I can get away with very little, so I don't even try. So it was a bit scary to think adding an A choice in, but for me, it works so much better than adding a B choice in, because I'm not going to spend an A choice on sugar. B choices, perhaps I would. Anyway, yeah, that was Chris Evans this week. What was the next thing on my notes, Joe?
Biggest to smallest.
Yeah, something I noticed I'm doing, and it wasn't a conscious decision to do it, but something I've noticed I'm doing is, if there's a choice, the old Jane always chose the biggest. So when my mum used to put a plate of cream cakes down, it wasn't like, what cream cake do I want? For me, it was, which is the biggest. If my mum made a pile of sandwiches, or a pile of what we call cobs in Nottingham, look for the biggest. Look, always gone for the biggest. Eat out. What's the biggest thing on the menu? Not what am I going to enjoy the most. Oh look, we'd eat out. My friends would choose salmon or something like that. I'd choose steak and kidney pie with chips, or steak and kidney pudding, or the biggest thing on the menu. Always the biggest. Because I was greedy. Well, I'm greedy. I'm still greedy. That's never going to go away. But I'm taming it a bit. But I noticed this week that when I have a choice, I don't automatically look for the biggest. And I noticed it primarily because I went into the drawer at the bottom of the fridge to get myself a Cox's apple. And And in our Morrisons now, you put your fruit and your veg and that in paper bags, which is much better than using plastic. So I put my hand in the paper bag and I was just going to take the first apple. And I thought, gosh, that's a big boy. And my hand went back in and the other ones were smaller. So I took a smaller one. And the funny thing is, I couldn't finish the apple because I was having it after my evening meal and it was just something sweet to finish my meal. And I actually ate 3/4 of it and thought, I'm eating this for the sake of it. I'm full. And I actually threw about 1/4 of the apple away. If I'd taken the biggest one, I'd have been thrown away a lot more. But it was just such a monumental moment, something so simple that meant so much to me. I no longer need to take the biggest. And I think the reasoning behind that is I'm no longer fearful of being hungry. I know what it feels like to be satiated. And nowadays, I can quite comfortably stop when I'm satisfied. The old me thought being absolutely stuffed to the gunnels and uncomfortable was what you had to do to know that you weren't hungry anymore. I never knew the difference between being full and satisfied and being what my nana used to call TTT, tummy touching table. You're that full, your belly's out here somewhere. I can eat a meal today and my belly don't move because it's not about shoving it out with the food, it's about feeling satisfied. So that was a revelation to me this week, which might not mean anything to anybody else, but it meant quite a lot to me. Next one, Joe.
Where's the last one? It's wrapping edibles.
Oh, I thought there was 4 things on the list. Wrapping edibles. Right. I've been systematically working through this week and wrapping Christmas presents. And in a lot of my Christmas presents, I'll add a chocolate gift. And what I've done this week, on Thursday, finished all my wrapping. So if it's not done, that's too bad. It's not going to get done. But what I did was, I generally do my presents in tissue papers and things and put them in nice bags. And I wrapped everything and wrapped all the chocolate treats and put them all in, been to my handmade chocolate shop, got everything I needed, wrapped all the chocolate treats, put them in, and then discarded all the wrapping paper and tissue paper, stuff that was left over, got rid of it. Because now there is no temptation, there isn't a physical temptation at the moment, but there's no thing at the back of my mind saying, go on, eat those chocolates, or go on, eat those chocolate coins, or go on, eat those gingerbread matchmakers. You can replace them. Because I can't replace them, I've got nothing to wrap them up with. And it's actually just a little safeguard for me to know if I've got nothing to wrap them in, I've got no business eating them. There's no way I'm going to rip the wrapping off them to try and replace them cleverly. It's just a safeguard. And little things like that are the things that make my journey easier. Funny thing happened this week. We were in the city and there's a chocolate shop that I've spoken about before where they do the most incredible, they do 54 different handmade chocolates and different Christmas treats and things, and it's out of this world. Lovely place. The people are lovely, aren't they, Joe? It's a family business. It's 2 brothers and one of the brothers' wives. And we went in and Robin served us and we bought the chocolates that we wanted, which were for gifts. And I said to Joe, something's changed in me, because we used to walk in that shop and the smell of Belgian chocolate, and they have white Belgian chocolate, milk and dark, and it's all what they make their chocolates with, and then where they make the chocolates is beneath the shop. So the smell just comes up into the shop. And I said to Joe, there's something changed in me, because we walked in and I didn't like the smell. Usually we'd walk in and I'd be like, it's free to inhale, there's no calories in chocolate if you're only inhaling it or whatever. But I actually didn't like the smell. Now before, it would have knocked me off my feet and I'd been standing there in seventh heaven thinking, how much of the stuff can I buy and eat? We bought what we needed, we paid for it and we left. And I came out of that shop not wanting any. And isn't it funny? I've been so long without it that I've not only lost my taste for it, I've lost the smell for it. So, yeah, little things like that, little changes that, I don't know, they just crop up unexpectedly, but they just feel good. because I don't have to battle a desire to eat chocolate. I don't have a desire to eat chocolate. And I know I talk about chocolate as if it's the enemy, but I've said I believe on the 8th day the devil invented chocolate. But for me, you know, from being quite young to being 59, 60, even 61, I was addicted to the brown stuff. And I don't mean Marmite, Laura. I do like it, but not that much. I just couldn't not eat it. And if there'd been some in the house, I would have been going mental until it had gone. And I like the feelings now that I don't need to depend on sugar primarily and chocolate secondary. So it's been a good week. It's been a busy week. I went shopping on, I don't know what day it was, Wednesday with my friend Nikki, my good friend Nikki, and oh my God, can she walk? I mean, Jo can walk miles and miles and miles, like on a good day, can't you? But Nikki, she don't walk, she flies. I felt like somebody like holding the arm of Mary Poppins, and we were off. And we walked from one end of Nottingham to the other end, back and back and back, and this way and that way and the other. And I reckon that day I must have clocked up 25,000 steps. But it was a good shopping day, and I like a good shopping day. We found some nice things, and we had a good time. And yeah, I'm grateful for the week that I've had. Spent it with good people, doing nice things. Very, very, very busy. And on Wednesday night, I don't know how I managed to stay awake until bedtime because I could have fallen asleep on my feet. And I still feel like I'm playing catch up. So yeah, a week and a bit till Christmas, and then it'll be all over, bar humbug. I am just not a Christmas person. I do enter into the spirit of it. I do the gifts and all that sort of thing, and I like the family aspect of it. And Joe's dad will be coming for Christmas dinner, Joe's cooking, and it'll be fabulous. We'll have a really good meal. But for me, that's Christmas. I think if you've got a lot of kiddies around and things, you view it very differently. We did it very differently when Joe was small. But the best Christmas I ever remember was about, I don't know, Joe would have been 10 maybe. We went away for Christmas and we had an amazing Christmas in a hotel in Devon. That was special. Right, gotta go. Lots to do, and Joe has to go to work, so blathered on a bit today, but that's been my week. And we'll see you next week. Stick to plan, stay to group, and remember, it works if you work it, worked if you don't. Bye.